Hi everybody, Lori here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the Just a Note release blog hop with Simon Says Stamp, and I have a couple of fun projects to share with you featuring one of my favorite new dies from the release, and it's called the Citrus Slice Background. And this fits a standard A2 card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches tall. I love it. First thing I thought of was rainbow pizza pies. I know that sounds weird, but I wanted to do it on navy. So first I'm going to die cut this entire panel onto some navy cardstock. And I love this Simon Says Stamp embellishment wand for popping out all the innards. And then the other end is great for adhering embellishments and also popping in all the little pizza pies. Okay, so once I've got that all ready to go, now I'm moving on to the color. And there are 8 little slices in every circle, and I knew I wanted each slice to be a different color. So I went ahead and cut 8 squares of warm tone solid color cardstock, a bunch of pinks and reds and oranges and sorbet. A lot of this is Concord night cardstock. A few pieces are Simon Says Stamp, so I'll have a mixture, and everything will be linked in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, also at the bottom of my blog post. And okay, so take this off camera and run it through the die cutting machine and hope this works. I wasn't really sure if it was going to work, if all these little pieces of pies were going to go flying everywhere. Surprisingly, it all kind of stuck together. I don't know if that was just magic or what. Okay, now I'm going to do another set of 8 with cool tones. So I cut another set of 8 little squares out of greens, aquas, blues, a little bit of purple. And now there's some pros and cons to this method that I'm doing here, because as you can see, this will give you 8 little colorful pizza slices, but those little slices on the edges, well, you'll find out as we go, they have unique shapes. So I did have to do a little bit of finagling to fit those little awkward shapes on the sides of the panel, but it all worked out in the end. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this die to create a lot of different looks. Okay, so now that we have all our slices ready to go, I have a white card base here, and I am going to just cover this entire front of my card base with tape runner. You could also use liquid glue or whatever you want. I popped on a white. I went ahead and ran that citrus slice background die through white. And this will give me something to pop all my pieces in so that they are all in the right place. And you know I'm going in rainbow order. I couldn't resist. So one set of circles are going to be rainbow warm tones, and then the other set of circles are going to be rainbow cool tones, and it's going to look fantastic. It already is lighting my fire. Now, one thing I am trying to do, not that you have to do it, but I kind of like it, is that I try to put all my little colorful slices in the same spot for every circle, so they're all like kind of, what do you call that, like parallel, like consistent. So all the reds are going in the same order, all the oranges, yellows, do you know what I mean? It's all the same. It looks very neat and orderly. Okay, so I did a row of warm tones. Now I'm doing a row of cool tones. And now, when I first saw this die, I immediately thought of this, what I'm doing right here. It's like I knew I had to try to do this, and I knew it was going to be tedious. My daughter walked by, Bailey, and she's like, wow, that looks tedious, Mom. And I go, I know, but I love this kind of stuff. It just tickles my fancy. And then the other thing I thought of when I saw this was actual like making pizzas. That might be a little far-fetched. I don't know if you could make these look like actual pizzas. You might have to draw on some pepperoni and some cheese and peppers. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy thought. Which is odd that I've thought of rainbow kaleidoscope and pizzas when the die is called citrus slice. Clearly, you want to make lemons, limes, and oranges. And but I'm always thinking outside the box. You know what I mean? Now, here's the pros and cons to doing this. The pros are, it's amazing looking, and it's just happiness on a card. The cons are these little side shapes that I'm filling in right now are very unique. They're like kind of half slices. So I had to go in and fill in, like separately die cut all these little shapes in the specific colors that I needed to fill in these little teeny tiny slivers. So that did take a little extra time, more time than I thought it was gonna. There's probably a better method to doing this, but now what do you think? Right now, I love how this looks with the white. It looks really, really, really good with the white. You could stop right here. But when I lay on that blue, tell me if that does not just come alive. Tell me. I mean, okay, but I wanted to create a little bit of dimension. So I went ahead and die cut a couple more panels out of white cardstock. And I'm simply just adding some liquid glue. I'm using Barely Arts. Little dab will do. You don't want too much oozing out the sides. That will chap your khakis. And then carefully line that up. And then I'm going to do one more. And this is going to just create a little play on dimension. It's debatable. You'll see in the end. You might say, didn't need to do that. Or you might say, Laura, that made all the difference. And you never know until you try it. It's all about experimenting. You live and learn. Okay, so now that we have, this is basically 3 layers of white, and then I'm going to add more glue and slap on that navy panel over top. And I really feel like the colors just kind of come alive with that navy. Something about it just gets me. Okay, now for a sentiment. This Just a Note. This is a CZ die by the one and only Kathy Zilski, and I did it out of vellum and matte gold. And I've already used this Just a Note word die probably 3 to 4 times, and I've only been working with the release 2 days. So this one here is going to be a staple. It's just the right size. It can go for any occasion. When you got a card that says Just a Note, it's ready to go. You need a birthday, you need a thinking of you, you need a congratulations, you need, hey, just wanted to say hi. Just a Note's got you covered. I did put little couple slivers of foam tape behind the vellum so I could pop it up a little bit. And then for a little blingity bling, I added a few sparkling clear sequins in different sizes, kind of staggered them and framed the sentiment. Here's where that embellishment wand comes in handy. And this card is finished. What do you think about the navy? What do you think about the dimension? Are you here for it? Now, here's another card that I did. I didn't have time to show the process, but what I did is just ink blend behind, and I popped it up. It's not a shaker. It's just popped up over ink blending. And I will share this all positively saturated ink colors that I blended. I'll link all the colors below. Same Just a Note word die by Kathy Zilski and some clear sequins. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure and check out the rest of the Simon Says Stamp Just a Note release blog hop. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.